I'm so glad that y'all are here. Hi, hello, good morning. Jamie Grace here. I'm glad you guys are here. And I say good morning. It is 8 p.m. Eastern. Next week, this is gonna be 7 p.m. Eastern because I'm about to fall asleep. Like my melatonin alarm went off 13 minutes ago, and I silenced it because I was like, "Oh no, I have a live stream. I got to do that 7 p.m. situation." I'm so glad y'all are here. And in case you don't know, hi, hello, I'm Jamie Grace. I sing songs, I produce music, and I recently started doing these evening Monday night live streams very specifically for creatives. Now, I want to be clear. I truly believe that everyone's a creative. So, whether you enjoy a little knitting, some drawing, playing piano from time to time, or you're actively pursuing a career in music, or you're a musician, you're a podcaster, influencer. This is all about creativity. This is all about being a creative. And so I am also going to play a little bit of a sneak peek of my new album as well at the end of this. So I hope you'll stick around to hear that. But even if you're thinking, oh no, I don't make music, I don't post on social media like that, that's okay. This is going to be talking a lot about what it is to be a creative in that space, but also I honestly hope that you'll be encouraged either way. Speaking of space, so I recently um, came up with an acronym, as all good millennials, as all good millennials do. I recently came up with an acronym for space, and we are going to be doing this live stream Monday nights, I think at 7 p.m. Eastern. Y'all, it might even turn into 6 p.m. Eastern. It'll change next week because I'm sleepy. But doing these Monday night live streams, and every week it cycles to a different letter of the word space. And so this week is S, which is for stillness. And I'll go ahead and show you all the graphic here of all the other ones as well. So stillness. And then next week is all about music production. And then the next week is all about artistry. The next week is all about content. You know, we got to create that content, but also like nobody feels like it, but also maybe we love it. What? And then the fifth week is all about engagement, which is connecting to your audience, whether that's an audience of 1,200, an audience of 15, or an audience of 2 million, right? It's all about that engagement and that connectivity. And like I said, as an independent artist, as a producer, and someone that, does artist coaching from time to time as well, my huge passion is working with creatives, and I truly truly believe that every single human was created to create. So I'm excited to share a little bit with y'all tonight. I'm curious if anybody wants to hop on the comments or something like that. You totally can, or you don't have to. But um, sorry, my kiddo is singing across the house. She's doing great as always. Like if you have little kids in your house, you get it. You're like, oh, they're fine. They're singing. I would love to know, what is there anything like that you share online and it stresses you out when you go to share it? That is my question. Like, is there anything that when you go to post it, it stresses you out, right? Whether it's just a good old update that you're sharing about your own personal life, whether it's your music, whatever it might be. I would love to know in the comments if anybody wants to chime in. Is there anything about, and I'm not talking about consuming, right? So not when we're scrolling through socials, but when we get to post something, is there anything that kind of makes you kind of have that moment? And that's kind of a general question to kick off. And I have a few notes that I hope will be encouraging for y'all as well, kind of attached to that question. I do also want to point out that typically this live, it's through my Patreon. And I know if you are familiar with Patreon, you might be like, oh, but hear me out. Hear me out. You can legit do like a 7-day free trial, like starting today, and then get next Monday night for free, and then cancel it and never pay a dime. So it's not like you actually have to sign up. You know what I mean? You don't actually have to pay anything. But if you do choose to support my work through Patreon, it does support my studio and my music and my album, my fifth studio album that is coming out this year. Got a new single coming out this month, and I'm going to play a little bit of it for you guys in just a few minutes. So I cannot wait to share that with y'all. So to the question of anything like, is there anything like when you share it that it gives you like a little bit of like anxiety or pause or stress or worry? Or and I can truthfully say that it's honestly like a lot of it for me is the general concept of posting online. When I was a teenager and I was posting every 30 seconds, just constantly making videos and, I didn't really have a ton of an audience for a while. And so posting just all the time, every day, everything that I thought of, all my hopes, all my dreams, just share, share, share. Um, I just posted all the time. If a video didn't do well, my mindset was, I'll try again. And occasionally I find myself being able to get back into that mindset, and I find myself back into that very free, just fun space of sharing work that I'm proud of. But unfortunately, I think, not I think, unfortunately, the reality is that just when you start to get older and all of a sudden your creativity and your art and your work is now attached to, are the bills going to get paid? Am I going to be able to take care of myself? And I want to be clear, I'm speaking very specifically to when I kind of first started and I was, single and, had like an apartment, like by myself and all this kind of thing. I started to kind of get to a point where it's almost like, how do I post and how do I share without it feeling like I'm doing too much? If I go out with friends and I have fun, should I post a picture? Or now is everybody going to be in my business like, oh, you weren't hanging out with us, or did you invite us, or why weren't we there, or where did you even go? Or like if I post this church, like there are people going to be like, oh, you believe that now? Like, oh, why'd you go there? Like, well, I know that pastor. I'm not like that worship team. Like all this stuff, it can get so overwhelming and so exhausting when we come to just the questions of like, what do I post and what do I share? I don't think that it's healthy to just literally post anything without a thought. I think that's actually quite unhealthy. But I do oftentimes admire my younger self and the freedom that I had to just post and just to share and not have the concern or the thought or the panic of what other people would think, right? Sam said, not a content creator, but even on my personal socials, I struggle with people pleasing and worrying about how my audience will react. And she used the quotes audience. I want to be clear. That wasn't my addition. And yeah, I totally get that, feeling like you said, like people pleasing, because it's hard too. And I don't want to, assume anything about anyone, but especially for those of us that we desire to encourage people. We want, in general, people to have a positive experience with us as humans. And then you take that a step further for those of us that, are followers of Jesus. We know that we have this calling and this ability to encourage and to bring joy into people's lives, not because we're delightful or anything, but because we have this awesome privilege of the good news. And so for me, that's kind of how it can weigh on me, if you will, just kind of the need to make it good, to make it joyful all the time, to make it exciting all the time, to make it high quality all of the time. And I want to be clear that for me, that doesn't mean that I shy away from being vulnerable when things are difficult or hard. Even when I'm sharing things that are difficult, I'm like, oh, I hope I say it right. Like it's my story and it's my vulnerability and it's my life. And yet I'm still sitting here going, I hope I do a good job being sad about this thing publicly. I hope I'm not too sad. What has happened to us? We've become so consumed in a way with what we can share and that we can share, that a lot of times that comfort that we had when we were on MySpace is gone. And you know what, I say that, but at the same time, actually, this stress was on MySpace too. Who's going to be in your top 8? Like, just mess up the whole youth group if you do it wrong, right? So, man, that is just kind of where I find myself sometimes when it comes to social media. So, what I want to do is just give you guys a few practical tips, just a few takeaways, kind of for your day to day, just to hopefully kind of ease some of that stress and to ease some of that panic when it comes to what we post on social media. And again, I'm not talking about what we consume, but just, because I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh, social media, once social media got here, everything got bad in the world. We should all delete it. Oh, okay. Have you heard of the Cain and Abel? It's not the phones. Like, hear me out. A lot of it's the phones, okay? A lot of it's the phones, but it's not just the phones. And so I try to find, some like in incredibly like intentional, just try to find some like in intentional ways to kind of go about my day, especially when I know that I have content that I want to share or words that I want to share, just ways that I can be mindful of what's happening internally, right? And so I'm gonna pull this up really quick. Here it is. I was like, oh, no, okay. So one thing that apparently a lot of producers do this. I was what 1920 when I first met a producer that does this, but stepping outside for like 5 minutes. Okay, now hear me out. I know that is one of those like very old cliche, like, oh, go touch grass or go sit in the sun, whatever. Then great. If you've heard it a million times, maybe this is the time to start doing it. Maybe you already do it, great. But that is one thing for me, especially in the context of creating content. When I'm making music and I all of a sudden am like, oh, this album is horrible. Like, oh, I'm the worst musician that ever lived. Like, I promise you, I will go and step outside, and then all of a sudden I come back inside and I'm like, oh, I like your song. And I'm talking to me. It's crazy what happens when you step outside. So I try to make that a habit at least every day. Honestly, it's kind of easy now because our little loves to check the mail. And so that is typically my time to go outside and just say out loud, thank you, Lord, for this air. Thank you, Lord, for the breath in my lungs. Just being intentional with being outside for a few minutes. It's very grounding. It's very helpful. It's very cliche, and that's because it's very helpful. I think I just said helpful twice. Another one a second one here is to take your phone and intentionally place it somewhere where you cannot access it. Not like down the toilet, but like just take your just take your phone and just go place it somewhere. Like I will do that a lot of times. And if you have an Apple Watch or what is Samsung watch, a Galaxy, I don't know what your watch is called. If you have a smartwatch, take your smartwatch off, right? And just go place it somewhere. I do that a lot of times, like when I homeschool our kiddo. Because hear me out. I think a lot of times when we think of like putting our phone away or like putting your phone on silent or something, we think about it in the context of like, especially for those of us that are Christians, we think about it like, oh, this is my quiet time with the Lord. I'm going to put my phone away, or like, oh, I'm going to go take a nap. I'm going to put my phone away. No, don't always choose to put your phone away when you're going to go do something else that is relaxing or still or about your wellness, if that makes sense. I'm talking about putting your phone away in a setting where you might want your phone. Like, there's a difference. There's a difference in saying, oh, I'm going to put my phone away because I'm going to go pray to the Lord. Well, duh. I mean, sorry, not, sorry. Sorry, that was judgy. I'm sorry. But, like, yeah, that makes sense, pal. I get it. Or like, I'm talking about like putting your phone away when you're going to go watch a movie. Like putting your phone away when you're going to go do laundry and you would regularly have on a podcast. Like go put your phone away when you would regularly be listening to something or watching something for an extended period of time on your phone. That is a different type of choice towards stillness. That is a different type of choice toward rest. It can be odd, but it can be necessary. I talked about it a little bit in my book, Finding Quiet, available on Amazon. And it came out a couple years ago, but it's quiet is not something that I'm naturally interested in. It's not a preference, if you will. It's an ill. Like, if my friend needs me to sit in the quiet with them, sit in the stillness with them, bet, easy, yes, done and done. But as far as my general disposition, though I am like low key a quiet person, no one ever believes that. But though sometimes I can even make sense. The point I'm making is I'm not naturally inclined to say, hey guys, let's all have quiet time. And yet another Christianese thing, we oftentimes like, oh, quiet time is like prayer and reading your Bible. And sure, you can call it that. You use your words how you use them. I'm not telling you what words to use and not use. The point I'm getting at is choose quiet when you would typically want something to be said or music to be played, words to be spoken. Choose quiet for 30 minutes to an hour, if not more, and just kind of see where you end up there. I have a friend that she's a writer and an influencer, and she was talking about taking like a pause from social media. And it's hard because when it's your job, that's not always an option, right? But one thing that I loved about just like that conversation with her is she was talking about the possibility of it being, a few days a week or something like that. And I have another friend that is an author, and Well, I think okay. The second friend I'm talking about is my sister. I had to think through it, and I was like, no, she'd be okay if I said this. So, the second friend I'm talking about is my sister Morgan, and she will quite often post on social media and then go off of social media. And some people might be like, oh, but you gotta like engage in comments. Yeah, sometimes you do. Like sometimes that's actually what you need to be doing. Sometimes it's exhausting, but it's a part of the job, and you just gotta do it, right? Um, Sometimes you have the privilege of having an intern or someone that works with or for you that can handle that for you. But sometimes it is truly just limiting the amount of time that you're committing to it. Again, I'm not going to be the kind of person that's like, "Oh, you need to get off of social media. It's ruining your brain," especially when I'm talking about creatives that are like, "Oh, I desire to have a singer-songwriter career." I'm not going to be like, "Oh, well, you need to get off of social media." I'm probably just not going to do that. If we're talking about like severe mental health and stuff, that's a different conversation. But the general concept of like it's okay to sit your phone down, it's okay to limit your time, it's okay to restrict it, it's okay to have boundaries, it's necessary to have boundaries. And that can be really, really helpful. And then the last thing that I'm going to say is journaling, but I'm going to be intricate about that because I always struggle when people tell me to journal. I struggle with it. When a therapist is like, "Do you journal?" I'm like, "Girl, no." I do. I do journal. But I struggle with a lot of times the advice that I feel like is given in the context of journaling because I don't journal I think like traditional journaling. I seldom am going to get a book and write down words. That is likely not going to happen. Now what is going to happen in approximately 40 seconds, my face is going to go away. And I will need to replace the battery on my camera, which I could have literally just been so slick and put something up on the screen and y'all would have never known. Um, oh my gosh, wait a second. I could literally could have just done this. Boom, shakalaka. So this is what we're talking about today, guys. We are on number one, week one of this. You need space. It's a call, a challenge, an encouragement, hopefully, to creatives that you need space. You cannot just function just completely just out here. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna make a song and I'm gonna post a song and then I'm gonna do the thing and read an email. Like it's just not gonna. You gotta have a pattern. You gotta have a system. Or unfortunately, our brains might. I mean, I don't want to say what our brains are gonna do if we don't get rest, but it'll be tough, pal. It'll be tough. Susie Marie says writing down your thoughts is helpful. Yeah, it really is. And Sam said, why is this the same advice that my counselor tells me? Listen, also, hello, black kid with a quarter of Cuban. Glad you're here. Yeah, listen, writing down your thoughts is helpful. And hear me out. I struggle with the physical act of writing down my thoughts. Now, ironically, I keep a Morgan Harper Nichols journal on me at all times. It is a non-negotiable for my creative process. I'm her biggest fan. We're all aware. And all of my to-dos, all of my lists, all my things are always in my Morgan Harper Nichols journal. It is a non-negotiable for me. However, however, that is not where I journal. And also I'll give you guys a couple thoughts if you are not the kind of like pen and paper kind of journaler, but you might hear this kind of thing often. One thing is voice notes. You could get a voice note out. You know how sometimes we like to just tell our friends what's going on? We open up a text message to our friends and we do like a voice note and we just chat, chat, chat and give them a podcast. Well, how about try doing that sometimes? If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, try doing that and not sending it to a friend. Try sending the voice note to yourself or go in like the actual voice memos app in your phone and say it out loud as a journal first, as a journal entry. And not to over spiritualize it, but try it as a prayer. It might be a prayer, it might not be a prayer, it might be a journal entry, it might be a complaint, it might be a letter to your future self, like, "Hey girl, I hope you're all right because today was crazy." Like, journaling does not always have to mean pen and paper. You can also do the same thing, but with singing. And guess what? You don't have to be good at singing. You just pull your phone out and just sing about how you feel. Sing about what's going on. What's the song? Sing a song. Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing a song. I was gonna sing it, but I don't want to lose my monetization. Got bills to pay. It's okay if it's not great. It's okay if it's not good. It's okay. It's okay if it is musically, theoretically horrible. Did you get your feelings out? You journaled. You can do the same thing with vlogging. You can put a camera up and talk. A lot of times I'll find myself on TikTok, and this is kind of going to segue into my last thing here. I'll find myself on TikTok, and I will be reading or like watching, like scrolling, just like watching a video, and then I'll be like, hold on, I don't think I was supposed to know this information. It'll be like somebody, like a random girl in Idaho, um, and she'll be like, "You ready with me while I tell you the story about how my ex best friend stole my cat and now I don't talk to anyone on my dad's side of the family?" When I tell y'all, I will be like, bet, tell me a story, girl. I will sit there and watch that TikTok for 8.5 minutes, and then I will recap the entire thing to my husband when he gets home. And then I will send to my friend, like, can you not believe this? Y'all, I don't think that's great for us. I can't say that I think it's great. No, hear me out. Sharing your story, telling your story, especially if it's something about like you and your cat and something, it's okay to tell your story. It's great to tell your story. I also think that a lot of times these stories that we find ourselves very comfortably either sharing or engaging in, a lot of times the first call could have been to journal. The first call could have been to get it all out in a much healthier way, in a more private way, if you will. I know that that's not as popular, it's not as fun, but it's necessary. It helps us to actually heal and to actually recover from things that we may not even realize we need to recover from. Sam says Notes app is on my phone is full of these types of things. I never thought of this journaling. Listen, my Notes app is my favorite journal. It is full and it totally counts. I have specific folders for specific feelings, like angry, sad, frustrated. Like, and if I'm feeling a feeling, I know exactly like which folder to go to, and I just start typing it out. And it can be really, really helpful. You guys, I want to share a list of things with you guys, and then I'm going to share a little bit of a new song with y'all. It's coming out very soon, hopefully this month, but I hope it should be this month. You will be the first to know, of course. But I wanted to share a list with you guys of just some things that I kind of suggest that you consider not sharing online. And I think it's one of those things where my hope is that this list can help all of us kind of find some kind of peaceful, intentional pause, stillness in what we share. It's so easy to get vulnerability confused with nakedness. we really lean into sharing all these things that are so close to us that we don't have to share. And I don't think that it will be bad if we chose not to share them. Something that I don't share online, and I don't really know if this is noticeable because I just don't think it's that noticeable, but something I do not share online is real time what I'm studying in the Bible. I just don't. There might be a very rare occasion where it's happened in the past, but that's something that I decided early on that was going to be very personal and very private. And I don't want the internet to know what I'm studying actively. And I want to be clear that, like I said, this is, largely I'm talking to creatives and musicians and stuff, but I hope this is something that's applicable for everybody. Sometimes that might be a part of your life. Like, that is a part of your life. That is what you are sharing online, and that is working for you, and it's encouraging other people. So this is not a matter of right or wrong. This is not a matter of me, oh, Jamie Grace is now telling people how to live every day. That's gross. I'm not telling you what to do. It's more of just a concept, a thought, right? Yeah. And another thing which I know this is going to sound vague because I'm going to bring it up and then I'm not going to answer questions and I'm not going to talk about it, but I've said it for almost 20 years that I've been on the internet. I don't talk about my weight. I just don't. If it goes up, if it goes down, I just don't do it. When I was pregnant, I did not show my belly. I didn't show the bump. I don't understand why I show a bump. It was very confusing to me. People were like, let me see the bump. Let me see the bump. And I was like, my belly? I'm not even a bikini girly. That's my belly, It's okay to be like, nah, bruh, nah, bruh. Some things we just keep to ourselves. And I think the long term benefit of that, right? The long term benefit of that is discovering boundaries online and relieving that when you go to post, relieving that when you're not sure if you're going to please people or not with what you share, relieving that that hesitation, that anxiousness, that frustration, that overwhelm that we oftentimes get because of content, not because of consuming content. That's a fully different conversation, but because of what we're sharing, what we post, what we think we're going to post, how we live our everyday lives, right? So I'm going to give you guys a list, and then I'm going to give you guys a link to this list. And this link, it'll be on my Patreon, and you can, check it out if you want to check out more there. So yeah, so a couple of things. One, health, fitness, and wellness, right? So I've got 5 things under here. Like a doctor's diagnosis and like details and lab results, right? Some people, you might share that. That's actually something that I do share a lot. I share a lot about my diagnosis, but it's okay if you don't want to share that. You don't have to feel pressured to give people very specific and detailed updates about every aspect of your medical history and medical life and journey. You might be more served, or might be more beneficial to have a small group of 20 people, a small group of 3 people that kind of know the ins and outs, right? It's okay to put those boundaries up there. Another one is mental health episodes in real time. Now, that's one that I think honestly is kind of an overall one, right? I think that's beneficial for all of us. If you're having a hard time, if you find yourself actively crying, actively dealing with something and in pain in that present moment, that could be the time to call a friend. That could be the time to reach out to someone as opposed to sharing online. Jumping to a totally different topic, but underneath like family and relationships, right? And again, I'm going to share the link to this list right at the end. So it's got a few more minutes, and I'll share the link with you guys. So one thing would be like, so like I don't even know how to explain this, but like anything about a meal with your children, you don't have to share it. There's so much debate. There's so much debate around like, oh, should I, post pictures of my kids' faces or not, right? And I don't even necessarily engage in that debate because I think that there is so much more nuance to that conversation that we're not even realizing. It's like, but yeah, but like I'm not it might be a part of like if you are a vlogger and you share your everyday life, you share lifestyle work, like that's beautiful. You can actually also choose for the internet to not know your kids' favorite food. Like there's actually still a way to do all that stuff while still maintaining boundaries, right? And so there's a lot of things on this list. I'll tell you the topics, right? We've got family, faith and spirituality, lifestyle and daily routines, health, career, business and money, beauty, fashion, personal style, art, creativity, and hobbies, food, cooking, and home life, travel. There's like 17 different categories. I spent like 3 days on this, so I hope you guys check it out. And yeah, you'll have total access to this. It's a free thing. I'll send you guys the free link on my Patreon. And so yeah, so I hope you guys will check it out because I want to hopefully encourage you guys. I'm going to bring this up one more time, and then I'll play a little bit of the new song. But where is it? I'm bringing this back up. So the general concept, guys, is that you need space. Like it is okay to need space, right? Stillness, productivity, artistry, content, and engagement. And again, this is mostly for those of us that are out here making art and out here being creative on the internet all the time. But I truly believe that every single person was created to create. And I really, really hope that you I don't know, pal, like make a choice to lean into the art that you can make, lean into the creativity that is inherently and naturally a part of who you are, right? And then, maybe join me for these next couple of weeks as we kind of unpack these things and talk about all this stuff. So, okay, record, Jamie Grace record. I'll talk about that a little bit more. And also, if anybody has any questions about this in particular, please feel free to ask, and just let me know. And I'd love to be able to answer any questions you guys might have, even if it's not about stillness, if it's about production or content or anything like that. Would love to be able to answer them if I can. Somebody said, how did you find the confidence to share about how being single felt? Sometimes my lack of certain experiences feels embarrassing, even though it's my choice by faith. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that I felt confident about sharing about being single but I also don't inherently think that that's something that everybody has to feel confident to share about. That was my journey, right? That was my journey, meaning that was what I wanted to talk about all the time. I think a lot of times too, it's um, if I believe that there is something that you are confident talking about. And maybe that's what you're sharing in a small group. Maybe that's what you're talking about when you're encouraging people that are younger than you or in a different season of life, right? Because it honestly is, it's just super. Yes, our confidence can grow in things, and that's really beautiful and awesome. But what you also want to make sure that you're doing is not pushing yourself to do something that you don't want to do. You know, um, for the first few years of our marriage, we were doing a lot of like family vlog stuff. And we really enjoyed it. Like, let me be clear. We had a lot of fun. Um, it was surprisingly easier when it was just a husband and wife versus now you're like changing diapers and editing videos. Apparently, it got a little tricky. I don't know. I don't know how. But we were loving making videos, and okay, like every blue moon we will randomly make a video. Like people will just like you'll randomly see an Instagram reel of like a vlog that we made of like going to Disney or something, because we still enjoy it from time to time. We oftentimes will hear people say like, oh, I miss your content, I miss your family vlogs, and then we get tired thinking about it. Then we have really crazy schedules, and we're like, if we get 2 days like just to really get family time this month, do we want to put it on the internet? It's we'll end up putting half of it online, not even really getting that time to just really have that time, right? So sometimes things are just for a season. Who knows, maybe tomorrow we wake up and we're like, oh snap, we're family vloggers again. I don't think that's gonna happen, but it's like the whole point is like, one, I appreciate you saying about the confidence of me talking about singlehood. That is something that I'm just incredibly passionate about, and I think that's what it is too. Is that even outside of my personal life, I'm still very passionate about that topic. Um, yeah, I'm still very passionate about it. I love talking about dating, relationships, family dynamic. Um, my degrees and I got my bachelor's like what, 12 years ago, 14 years ago. 14 years ago I graduated from college, in child and youth development, and wanted to still kind of want to be a therapist. And so that's just something that is just a huge passion of mine, and I'm grateful that it resonated with a lot of people. And yeah, I don't know, it just means a lot. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. I have a song. I just got back the horns and the what's it called, organ and stuff for this one song. Like literally like 15 minutes ago. I haven't gotten to unpack it yet, so we'll wait on that. We'll wait on that. But it's called Joy, and it's like really fun. And it's like, I got joy. Da, 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 da. It's like really fun, so I'm excited about it. It's got a lot of like trumpet and organ, and it's really fun. I'm excited. So I gotta play it for y'all at some point. I had here, y'all might find this interesting. So I had back in the day, I had a song called What If. It was one of the 91 anthems, and I'll play you guys a little bit of it because it made it to the album. But the song is diabolically different now than it was then. So I'm trying to, let me check all my audio stuff and make sure that when I play it for you guys, it doesn't sound like 91 anthems crazy. And I'll play you guys a little bit of it because it made it to the album. Okay, so but the song, pull this up really quick. Different. Okay, so it's called What If. Was then. And so I'm trying to let me check all my audio stuff and make sure. How many of you guys just heard? It doesn't sound like 91 anthems. Crazy. I'll play you guys a little bit because it hold on to the album. Okay, so but the song is. I'm doing that thing where I'm confusing myself. Tell me if you guys just heard a guitar or not. If you guys didn't, then I don't know what's happening in my brain because it was coming from somewhere. Let's see. Y'all might have been listening to me twice. Sorry about that, pals. Cold. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Cold
chair.
Okay,
She
so
sits and she waits for a new.
I wrote the song What If about a mom that was okay. You guys, my kid is 100% okay. She did just fall. Stand by, please, and thank.
He calls me wonderful. He calls me love. Sees past all that I've done. Sees who I will become. Wonderful. He calls me love. Sees past all that I've done. Sees who I will become. No mountain high that I could climb could make him love me more. No. No valley low could ever take the place of his love. 'Cause he already loves me the most he could love me. Sent his son to die for me. Gave his life for me. He already loves me the most he could love me. And the least I could do is love him too. Yeah. We call him Father. We're children of love.
Wow, I was just talking for 82 hours and I was muted. I was saying that reminded me of just like something crazy at like a church where they're like, "Oh, something's happening. We're just gonna pause our live stream. We'll see you guys shortly." And then someone's just like playing "How Great Thou Art." But anyways, hi, hello, good morning. So the little one is okay. She's just gonna hang out with mom for a moment, and I am gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys. Oh, you're okay, girl. I'm gonna show you guys a song called "What If." I originally sang it. You okay? Okay. I originally sang it as a part of 91 Anthems for a mom that wanted to have a kiddo. And, as you know, like having, like, as I think a lot of people know, like having a kid is not really always a thing that that comes easy for a lot of people. And so the song was called "What If," and it was just that's really what it was about. Just like
He called.
what if we could have a kid, right? What if there was a daughter? And so I reimagined that song, and I'll share a little bit of it with you guys. It's called "What If," and I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it, pal. So here we go. Here's a little bit of "What If." So that was the instrumental version. Just I'm laughing at myself because I played the instrumental version. What are you laughing at, Stinker Noodle? You ain't laughing at nothing. Okay. Let me pull this up. Jamie, do you know how to make music? Because who even are you? Do you see yourself? You want to say hi? Oh, a little bit. Oh, what's happening?
this heavy load my heart can't hold. This heavy load no more. My hands can't lift this weight above. My hands can't lift this weight up off my own. So I look to the hills, for I can't help but wonder, what if this is not the ending? What if you've got something working? What if there's an answer coming? What if there's something I don't know? My tears won't stop falling down.
Wow. So that, yeah, that's a little bit of my song "What If." That will come out very, very, very soon. Um, my hope is that it comes out at the end of this month. But there's always, just always like intricate little details that I just never want to speak too soon. But when I can speak soon, when I can speak too soon, I will certainly tell you guys right away when it's out. The best way that you can, stay notified, whatever app you're watching this on, likely YouTube. I see a lot of YouTube. I'm glad y'all are here. Whatever app you're watching this on, you can turn notifications on, right? So you can subscribe and hit the bell, however that works on the app that you're on. I hope you'll check that out, and I hope you'll be encouraged. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and share this link with you guys, um, so that you can check out the link that I was talking about when it comes to stillness and just all the different kind of suggestions and hopefully encouragers. That you can kind of use in your day to day life. Someone said, would the album be digital or CD? So it'll likely only be digital, and that's just kind of one of the intricacies of being an independent artist. I would definitely love for it to be a physical copy, and so I'm not a big never say never person, because I just know how like cool that would be. So yeah, I'm definitely not like, oh, it's never gonna happen. It's just not right now. It's just not something that like really deems to be feasible. But if you guys are interested in checking out my Patreon, that is definitely one of the ways that artists like myself are able to make exciting things happen, if you will. Just considering that being an independent artist is a really interesting world, and so what is it when you watch like PBS and stuff, which is super awesome. You can say like what is like is made possible by viewers like you or something like that, and that's very much what it's like to be an independent artist. Very much is everything you hear, everything you see is made possible for viewers like you. So whether that like genuinely, whether you are a member of my Patreon or not, if you're watching my stuff, if you're sharing the live, if you tell a friend that you saw this, like tomorrow, if you're like, oh my gosh, like I watched Jamie Grace's live, and then they're like, who's Jamie Grace? And then you're like, oh look, follow her on Instagram. Like that's a big deal. Like that's not chill for an independent artist. It's not chill for any artist. Support is just awesome and really appreciate it. But especially for independent artists like myself, when you guys tell your pals about us and stuff like that, it really does mean a lot. So I am going to send this link in 82 seconds, and it'll work, and then it'll be even prettier in about 90 seconds. 90 seconds after I first send it. um, Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Like I said, if you enjoyed this live stream and you want to hop back on this live stream next week, I really hope you'll be here. It will be behind Patreon, right? It'll only be on Patreon. Now, again, as a reminder, you can join my Patreon for free for 7 days. And then if you're like, ill, I don't like it, you can leave. Bye. It's okay. That sounded sarcastic, but it's totally fine. I've done it before. And it's totally okay. Joining Patreon is just honestly super helpful. Whether you're paying to support, it's like you can do $3 a month, or whatever, however you choose to support. Even if you're there, not like paying, and just truly there to just like hang out and say hey, like it really does mean a lot. So I hope you guys will check that out. The Patreon link is in the comments. You can check it out there. You can also go to Facebook. I don't know if it's going to pop up as a link for you because Facebook is a little hilarious, silly, silly, goofy time. But Facebook, I might have to send that to you guys separately because it likes to be a little bit LOL. Let's see. Do da do da 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 da. This is my waiting music. I hope you enjoy it. Do da dum dum dum. Bella, do you like the song? Thank you, girl. Oh, it did pop up on Facebook. Okay, you never know. Awesome. Okay, y'all are delightful humans. I'm gonna go and make this the link I just sent y'all. I'm gonna go make it. I'm gonna make it prettier. Y'all are delightful humans. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Susie Marie. Thank you, Patience. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Ruth. Ruth from Arizona. Good to hear from you, girl. Thank you all for being here. Hi, Mom. I saw she commented earlier. Hi, Matt Summers. What up, bro? From college. Nina, Abigail, Laura, Eve. So many sweet faces here tonight. Thank you all for being here. Have a great evening. Truly, truly have a great evening. I'll talk to you guys later. And yeah, Merry Christmas.